thought I would film my kind of first trimester update, and I figured I would just bunch it all together and throw it into one video. Today I am 13 and a half weeks pregnant, so depending on who you talk to, 13 to 14 weeks is, you know, the end of, or the beginning of second trimester. Well, pretty much for symptoms, to be quite honest, other than being tired, I wouldn't know that I'm pregnant. With my daughter, I was sick constantly. I had so much morning sickness, and this time around, I will get nauseous occasionally, but not constantly. It does come in like a big wave, so when I do get it, it's really bad, but it's not common that I'm having it super regularly. I've been exhausted. I'm always tired. I feel like I need a nap every day. It doesn't help. I do have bronchitis. I've had it for 3.5 months now, which a symptom of that is also being tired. So the two combined, plus taking care of my daughter, who's 11 months tomorrow, it definitely adds up as far as like making me tired. That's my number one symptom, is fatigue and being tired all the time. I had a hard time sleeping, but again, that is kind of tied into the bronchitis as well, with waking up coughing. But I'm having a hard time falling asleep, no matter how tired I am. Once I get in bed, I can't fall asleep. I don't know if that's technically a pregnancy symptom, but that's what I've been feeling. Food aversions. I didn't have any with my daughter really this pregnancy. Ground beef. That is the nastiest thing to me. Whether someone else is cooking it, whether I'm cooking it, something with ground beef in it, someone cooking it on TV even, it's so gross. And I don't know why, but like even like the thought of like eating a burger disgusts me. That sounds so gross. I am craving more savory food. Nothing in particular, and there's no like weird cravings like peanut butter and pickles or anything like that, but it's pretty much just like I want this, and it tends to be, of course, something we don't have in the house. My favorite thing lately is chicken. I could eat chicken every day anyway. My poor husband is so sick of eating chicken because it's the only meat that sounds appealing. Even though ground beef is the only one that sounds gross. In the middle, really, there's nothing that sounds good. But, I mean, no particular constant cravings. I have noticed when I'm pregnant, I have a higher sensitivity to spicy foods. They tend to be spicier, so I have to be a little more cautious with that and, you know, what I'm eating that's spicy. Not that it's bad, it's just way more spicy than it typically would be to me. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm making food. I have to kind of take back on the spiciness. Orange juice, I've been craving orange juice. I don't know why. That's all I want to drink. But like I said, no particular foods. Like one day I'm craving, you know, Mexican food, another Chinese food, but a big kind of overall thing is chicken, like chicken quesadillas or General Tso's chicken, those sort of things. Meals with chicken in them are pretty much it, as far as specifics. So far, I haven't gained any weight, thankfully. I have noticed I have a very small, limited appetite. Lately, I'm not hungry, and it's not that like, oh, that sounds gross, or, you know, I don't want to be sick. It's just I'm not hungry. So I feel like that's kind of factored into the fact that I haven't gained any weight yet. I typically only eat 2 meals a day and maybe a snack, which I know isn't good, but my body just isn't hungry. And I'm taking my prenatals to get the nutrition, the minimum nutrition that I need from those. to kind of help compensate. But yeah, no appetite really at all. And even if I get a food that I am craving, it's not like I can like go to town and eat all of it. I'm still very limited on like how hungry I am, as far as how much I can eat. We did have an ultrasound, everything looked good. We did the genetic testing, everything looked good. We don't do the one that tells gender, so we don't know what the gender is yet. We won't find out until the 20-week ultrasound. We got a heart rate both times between like 160 and 162-ish. This pregnancy is a lot easier than my daughter's, which I'm super grateful for. I'm trying not to take it for granted because I know every pregnancy is different. One thing that's big, that's different than with my daughter is with my daughter I had an anterior placenta, which if you don't know what that is, it kind of is between baby and your stomach, so kind of like an extra cushion. And with this baby I have a posterior, which is kind of like the normal one, which is in the back. So I'm interested to see how like sooner I feel things like kicks, and how much more, how like harder the kicks are and that sort of thing. Because with my daughter I didn't feel her kick until like 18, 19, maybe even 20 weeks, because of that cushion. And then it took a very long time to be able to actually like see her kicks, and they were never hard, like kind of those creepy videos that you see online, of like a hand. I never got anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see like how much sooner I feel baby kick, how much sooner my husband will be able to feel the kicks from outside, like how differently it looks from the outside, as well. But it doesn't mean anything that they're different. If you don't know, I learned it as well. It's literally just where implantation happens that affects it. So it's not like you're prone to have anterior or posterior. It's just luck, 50-50 chance pretty much. But I am excited to see how different it is. I haven't felt baby kick yet, at 13.5 weeks, but I mean, I'm not super surprised by that. I know some people say they do. This is baby number 2, so I do expect to feel it earlier, in addition to having the posterior instead of the anterior. I think I'll feel it sooner. But at the same time, I know how uncomfortable it gets when it becomes frequent, so I'm not necessarily in a rush for it, because I know I'll get plenty of it towards the end, and I'll probably get a little tired of it, depending on where he or she is kind of positioned. But I think that's it as far as any updates. I know that's a lot of information I just spewed out. If you guys have any guesses on gender, like I said, we don't know yet. We have our guesses, but if you guys have any guesses yourselves, leave them below, you know, to kind of take that guess. If you have any guesses, leave them below. I'd love to see what you guys think based on my symptoms. I know based on what old wives' tales, my symptoms are heavily leaning towards one gender versus the other, but we all know those aren't always true. Thanks for watching. Bye!